or something. Hey everybody, I think we're live. It's Stephen Wright with Jackson Kayak, and guess who's with me? It's
What's up,
Dane
everybody?
Jackson. Dane, where are you coming from? Where are you right now?
I am in the pristine Walmart parking lot in Squamish, British Columbia. As you can tell, doing the boat now here.
That sounds awesome. Well, we got a brand new boat to show everybody. We've been working on this one for a long time, and Dane's got it showing in the background. I'm going to turn my camera so you can see it. The way this live broadcast is going to work, we're going to show you our promo video. We're going to show you a lot of clips. We're going to talk through the boat. We're going to show you what everyone else thinks about the boat, and then we're going to bring in some dealers doing these sweet live parties. And this thing's going to last about half an hour, and at the end of it, you're going to know more about this epic new kayak than you ever thought possible. But for right now, let's check out this awesome new intro video that Dane put together for us. You ready to watch this, Dane? Dane's ready to go. Here we go. Oh my gosh, that was so awesome. I can't wait. He's just tuning in. This is the new Nirvana. It's our brand new creek boat. It's coming in.
What's up, Steve? Are you there?
I'm here. Are you there, Dane?
Promo. I had a lot of fun shooting it. All the 5 a.m. wake-ups, just so I can get the chance to paddle this boat and shoot it.
I like it. Dane, why don't you go ahead and talk us through this boat?
Can't seem to hear you, Steve-O.
I'm here, Dane. You ready to rock? Dane just logged out. So the brand new Nirvana comes in 3 sizes, which you need to know. The medium is at your dealers right now. We're shipping them out. The small mold is in-house, and we're going to start molding smalls later this week. The large is going to be here in about a month, sometime in October. So you're going to have 3 sizes of this awesome new creek boat. This is replacing the Nirvana. Dane is going to give us a walk around. We're going to show some clips, hear from some other people, and get ready to tune in. Dane, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Something happened at the beginning.
Okay.
All right.
Why don't you walk us through this boat?
Sounds great. I've been waiting for this moment for months, years, all of that good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera around and get started on this. First off, as you can see, this is the beautiful Nirvana. For those that are wondering, this is our new full-on creek boat. As you know, it has been a little while since we've come out with a full-on creek boat, but I promise you the wait was worth it. This boat, as someone that spends most of their year going creeking, most of the time spending in a creek boat, this is everything that I've been waiting for years. This is like everything that I could imagine that I have wanted thrown into one boat and then some more. So let's get right into it. First off, the one thing we did with this boat when you come onto the top profile is we gave it a nice wider midsection. And the reason why that's really nice is it gives you that really nice stability. It's still not hard lean to side, but you have that stability for confidence. But we made sure when it comes to the stern, once you get back towards the end, we made sure to taper that stern in really nicely. So that way, whenever you need to get on edge to boop or make a quick maneuver, there's nothing there that's going to get in your way. And you can lift this bow nice and high. And then when it gets up to the tip of the bow, you're going to notice that this bow stayed a little wider than we traditionally have, but there's a really good reason for that. And the reason why this bow stayed wider is by having that little extra planing surface. When you're landing boost or carrying your speed over any features, when you land by having that little extra width, this bow wants to start lifting immediately, meaning that you are going to carry your speed away from features a lot more than you have before, but you will also be bow dry a lot more than you have in the past, because as soon as that tip touches the water, that bow wants to start lifting. You're going to get way less chestfuls. Your bow's going to stay dry. You're going to carry your speed better. You're going to get hit in the face way less, so you're going to get to experience the whitewater more. So that is why that bow stays a little bit wider. And then when it comes into the rocker profile, as you're going to notice when you see all this content, we gave it a ton of rocker, which in the end, not rocket science. Why? We wanted to make sure that this bow stays dry, it's easy to boop, and all of that. But not only that, we gave this rocker profile, we made sure to carry it really nicely through the whole boat. And the reason for that is by having the rocker profile carry through the whole boat, that gets these ends way out of the water. So that rocker profile combined with that width, these ends, that bow is like a foot out of the water. This stern is like way out of the water. Even if you're my weight at 150 pounds or you're Alec at 190, there's so much of this boat out of the water, which obviously means that your bow is going to stay dry. You're going to float over everything a lot better. But one massive thing that comes from that is with so little of the boat in the water, you're able to keep this boat in control so much easier, because by having such a short water line, there's way less to the boat that can get pushed around, whether you're doing ferries, carrying a speed across boils, carrying a speed out from booths. So whether you are sitting flat or at top speed, this boat is as easy as it gets when it comes to keeping it in control. Like at any point, no matter the type of whitewater, nothing wants to get pushed around, and you can be as lazy or on top of it as you want to be, which is really exciting and adds so much more confidence just knowing that you're going to be in control all of the time. And then when it comes to the actual deck itself, we wanted to make sure that you had enough volume for confidence in any type of whitewater. We gave the bow a nice high volume bow that will allow the bow to resurface really fast, especially when it comes to how much bow rocket there is. We made sure at the stern, we gave it enough volume that you're not going to have to worry about back entering this boat. But we also designed the stern in a way, not only did we taper it in for getting on edge, but we also designed the deck volume to make sure that there's nothing in the way when you're boofing on your edge or making a quick maneuver. And then as we move into the finer details of the boat, one, we designed the stern to make sure that it is as strong and structured as possible. We actually designed the parting line to make sure that even if you're stern tapping year round, you won't have to worry about this stern breaking. We brought back our full rear grab handles, which is just so nice for, loading boats, passing out of portage, or that might be the only access at a pin. Super nice having those full grab handles again. Something that we've never done on our boats is we did a molded in rear wall holder. Not only did this give more structure at the stern, but it also makes sure that that stern wall is going to stay in place. You won't have to worry about it tipping over. And then when it comes to the sidewall, we made sure to give it a really nice structured sidewall. And we actually carried the deck lines all the way to the hip to give it as much structure there as possible. So no matter how much abuse you're putting this boat through, you won't have to worry about it creasing or folding there. Then when you get into under the cockpit rim, we actually did something we've never done before, and that is we didn't actually polish under here. It's not uncomfortable to the touch. By having a little bit of texture there, you won't have to worry about the skirt potentially coming off, even if this is fresh out of the bag. Then moving forward, if you get into the tip, we have our bow grab handles. We kept both the stern and bow grab handles sideways, which is just a much more comfortable grip when you're passing or passing on a portage, loading onto a car. A sideways grab handle is a lot more comfortable. You don't have to worry about your fingers getting jammed. And then when it comes to the tip itself, we actually designed the bow specifically. We moved that grab handle back a little bit, and we peaked the deck a little bit to give it as much structure as possible up there, so that if you do somehow manage to piton this boat, you will be able you don't have to worry about the boat folding as much. So This whole thing is as structured as it gets. And then a few small details that we did moving forward after we heard your feedback is now we actually have bungees in between the front wall and the seat. So for your rope, your water bottle, whatever it is, you have something right there to really keep it in place. And it's not in the way of being able to adjust your bulkhead or your seat. And then the last change that we did is we actually moved the buckle on the, sorry about that. We actually moved the buckle on the hip pad from the back to the front and added a second strap. So not only is this hip pad going to stay in place way more than we've ever had, but now your back band can't catch on the buckle when moving it forward. So in the end, for this boat, this is about a total package as it's ever gotten for a boat for me. And for myself, I have been waiting for a boat like this. This is everything I could look for in one boat and more. And I just cannot wait now that we can finally talk about it and get it on the water. But quick summary of why why we're just so fired up on this boat. One, this is the highest floating boat that you will have ever sat in. As soon as you get in this boat, you just feel like you are levitating over everything. This bow, the high floating with the high rocker and the wider surface area, this bow wants to stay over everything. This is the driest bow I have ever experienced. And then not only that, like I mentioned with that short water line, staying in control, whether it's big water, creaking, just a joy lap, whatever it is, at no point do you not feel like you're the one in control of the boat. Nothing in the boat wants to get pushed around, whether you're ferrying, surfing, carrying your speed away from boobs. It is as easy as it gets to paddle. And then on top of all that, there's nothing that wants to get grabbed. It's just so confidence inspiring running any type of whitewater. So it's everything that you could want to feel as confident as possible. But what's also really awesome is even though this will get you down any whitewater that you're nervous about or just any whitewater you're on, this boat is still very dynamic and fun. We gave it full drop chines on the hull to make sure that it has full carving ability when you're launching off of waves, spoofing into eddies, whatever it is, it's still a very fun boat to paddle. So even though you're going to get all that confidence, you're not sacrificing anything. No, at no point in this boat did it feel like we had to sacrifice one thing to make one thing better. This is a complete package. You're going to feel more confident than you ever have, and you're going to have the more fun than you ever had. And I'm so fired up on this boat.
That's true. And what I experienced, Dane, was that there's some boats out there that are like really high rockered and take care of you, but a lot of them are just not actually that fun to paddle. And then there are boats that feel really fast, but that like are fairly unforgiving. And what the Narvana does, like nothing else I've ever paddled, is be this magical combination of like takes care of you like an overprotective grandma or a security blanket, but still like skips out like crazy and actually carries speed if you paddle it hard. Check this out. I'm going to show you a video clip showing out a lot of this skipping boofs, because one of the things we really wanted this to do was land and plane up quickly and then take off and keep moving downstream and keep it easy to be in control. Check this video out. Dane, what are you seeing here? Yeah, just so cool, Dane. What were you seeing there that we should notice?
The biggest thing that you'll notice is that even when that boof doesn't go perfect and your bow starts dropping, having that high bow rocker combined with that wider surface area, this bow wants to start lifting as soon as the bow touches the water. But that combined with the wider midsection and all that planing surface, this thing wants to just skip out from stuff like nothing I've ever paddled.
That's awesome. And then unlike some of the other bigger boats out there, this thing's actually fairly nimble side to side and carves really well. I'm going to show you a clip of just carving this thing around because it is so fun to drive. Check this out.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dane?
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was obviously when it comes to a shorter water line, meaning a lot less of the boat is in the water. That for me was a huge part of this boat because that is what gives it so much control. That's what gives it so much control by having so little of the boat in the water, so little of it can get pushed around, meaning you're going to float higher over everything. But the fact that this boat still carved so incredibly well despite that shorter water line, it's really exciting. It makes it so fun.
That is awesome. So Dane, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune you out and swap you out with a couple of our dealers who are doing a live awesome reveal of this in person, having dealer parties at their things. Then I'm going to bring Dane back in. We're going to answer any of your questions and comments. And then we're also going to hear what Alec and Clay Wright have to say about this boat for another 15 minutes or so. Thanks, Dane. I'll bring some other people in now.
See you in a minute.
All right, first up, looks like we've got Whitewater Express. Is that Mason?
Hey guys, yeah, Mason Hargrove here. We got everyone getting stoked up on the boat. We got the Northern Lights showing here. We got the GOAT edition right there. Daniel just took it all the way down Wave Shaper for the first time. Everyone's getting super stoked on it.
Cool. Mason, have you paddled it yet? What'd you think?
It is the fastest and most forgiving boat that I've paddled that is 8-10. I think it's going to win a lot of races, and I think it's going to be just a fun boat to paddle every day.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, Mason. I'm going to check in with our next dealer. Enjoy it. All righty. Next up. Hey, how you doing? Coming to us from New England. You're on mute, Marty. You're on mute. I can't hear you. You're muted.
Hey, how about that?
That's way better.
Sorry, coming all the way from New Hampshire. We got Lesher right now opening up, giving us our debut. We're really excited about this model. The Nirvana has been, widely popular here, and we're really excited about the Nirvana.
That is awesome. What runs are you people looking most forward to paddling this boat on? What rivers?
The Upper Pemmy, the East Branch of the Pemmy, heading over to Vermont to the New Haven, taking it to Maine. New England's a really small place, so it tends to, go from state to state and wander around. So we're really excited to get out there and try this out on a bunch of different rivers.
You're going to flip out. This boat is so fun. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it.
We're looking forward to it.
Thanks. I can't wait to hear all about it. Next up, our last dealer joining our feed this time. Hey,
what's up? Woo!
Where are you coming from?
We are at Frontenac Outfitters in Ontario, Canada.
Wow, you're not far from me. I'm on the Ottawa River right now.
Yeah, I'm about a couple hours away. So
sweet. Looks like I see James McBaith there. How are you doing, James?
Good. We're having fun here.
That's awesome. You unwrap a boat?
Got a couple beauties.
Oh, yeah.
Couple beauties.
That is awesome. So pink is actually our special edition color for the Nirvana this year. So anyone who wants this boat in pink can get it. Only for this year, though, and then we're going to switch colors again. So our whitewater colors for this year, we've got the light blue and the dark blue fade, which I can see right next to it. It looks awesome. We've got that Northern Lights, which is like the light blue fade to the yellow. We've got a solid red, and then the Nirvana comes in this pink. Where are you guys looking forward to paddling this boat?
I'm looking forward to. Well, I'll be down at Moose Fest, and I'll be ripping one of these for sure.
That's
and
awesome.
The local, the classic Highway 7 spring runs, Quebec. I don't know. There's so much good stuff. Not in my backyard immediately, but within Ontario, Quebec, and northern New York. So
that's awesome. Well, thanks for everything. Enjoy the boat.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, Steven.
You got it. Next up, we're going to watch Alec Voorhees. He's going to tell us what he likes about this boat. I'm going to show you a clip of him doing a easy, massive boof in this thing first, and then we're going to hear what he has to say about the brand new Jackson Kayak Nirvana. See, the bow is just so easy to pick up. Here we go. Here's what Alec has to say.
What's up, everyone? Alec Voorhees here, checking in from Idaho to talk about just how I felt paddling the new Nirvana. Had it for about 3 weeks now and gotten on a bunch of really good stuff like North Fort Payette, my home run, up in BC on like the Ashlew, Upper Check, Stikeen, and honestly just couldn't be more fired up on this boat. I'm about 6'3", 195 pounds, so definitely at the bigger end of the boat, but it doesn't feel small at all. Like this boat, just with like the high rocker, super high floaty feel, turns on a dime, super loose, like just the shape and how the volume that it has and where it's displaced, like still like super bow dry. Stern doesn't feel like it gets back-ended at all. Like really stoked on this boat, and I'll probably paddle both the medium and the large pretty equally, but for just a boat that I want to be really playful and kind of just like play down the river, do different moves and stuff, like this boat's going to be super, super sick. And then once I get the large, I'll be fired up on that with like big water and higher volume runs and stuff, just to have that little bit more volume for me. But you're going to hear us talk a lot about just how kind of unique this boat feels. A lot of boats, I mean, you can have something that is like really sporty, but if you kind of put your foot off the gas, like it'll kind of like catch you or do something weird. This boat, you can totally just be lazy, I guess, paddling, just kind of cruise, and it's going to feel super easy to paddle. But then if you want to drive it and be a little bit more playful and dynamic, the like way it just boofs off of waves, releases from the water, carves and zips, sweeps back and forth, like it's really unique feeling boat. But then, like I said, if you just want to chill and just like go down the river, there's nothing that's going to surprise you or make you have a bad time. So just having that blend of like confidence inspiring, but then also being super, super fun to play. I think a lot of people are going to be super stoked, and I'm going to head up onto the river right now and go do a couple North Fork laps, and should be good. So
that's awesome. Alec is so stoked on this thing. Next up, we're going to hear from Clay Wright. Then I'm going to bring Dane back in, and we're going to answer all of your questions and comments. Clay and I got to paddle this boat on the Caney Fork, which is our home run. Clay probably has 100 or 150 runs on this. It's like class 4 boulder water. It's super fun. His goal is always to see if he can find one new line that he's never tried, even after like 150 runs. And sometimes he runs the river and can't find anything new. Well, the day we got to take the Narvana on it, this boat was so confidence inspiring that Clay found like 8 new lines that he had never tried and felt confident to try all kinds of new things. And the boat just made the same old run even more fun because he could try new stuff. Let's hear what Clay has to say, and then we'll bring Dane back on.
I'm Clay Wright, and this is the brand new Narvana. Not Nirvana, but Narvana, because it's designed more for fun and creaking than racing. We've got this awesome, massive bow, which is kind of weird looking at first when you look at it. It's like, oh my God, that thing is huge. But then when you get in the water, it's amazing. The water just parts in front of you, no splashes to the face. The thing just goes over everything. It kind of looks like you're driving an aircraft carrier, but then it paddles like it too. The waves just part off the sides, and you can see the next line or the next move or the next rock the entire time you're paddling. It's really kind of cool. It's super confidence inspiring because right as you're in the middle of landing something, you're just going straight for the next thing. I really like the way this thing paddles. We thought it was going to really slow it down. I mean, the rocker on this thing is just, frankly, it's kind of ridiculous. But the thing just fits the whitewater so much better. So when you're going over waves and when you're punching holes and stuff, it just fits the turn and comes out really sort of an organic style of feel instead of like landing flat or landing bow down. There's almost none of that. You just like carve out taking off downstream. We've got these monster rails on this thing, kind of almost borrowed from the Rockstar 5, because we love carving the antics so much. The last 2 years pretty much, I couldn't get out of an antics. I just love carving that thing so much. So we were like, well, we want a creek boat, but I'm not quite sure I want to give up the carve, and we didn't. It's sick. Massive bow rocker, really good eddy carving eddies, tons of stern rocker, massive water shedding bow. It's the Nirvana. It's really fun, and it's a creek boat. It's a great combo.
All righty, Dane, what do you think about answering some of our comments?
Sounds great. I think you're the only one that can see them. I was trying to check.
Let's see if I can share these. All right, Vicky is asking for a pink one. Dane, can you get this boat in pink?
Yes, it is finally time that everybody can now, for those that have ever wondered, now you can get the pink boat, limited edition, only for the Narvana. You can get it in pink now.
That's right. 3 sizes. You can get any of the 3 sizes in pink. You can also get it in that yellow blue and the dark blue, light blue, as well as solid red. All 4 of those colors are shipping in medium right now. Smalls will start shipping probably next week. The mold is in-house. In about a month, you're going to see the largest out the door. Next up from Susan. Susan wants to know if the bee's knees comes with it. They sure do. Bees Knees come with all Jackson whitewater kayaks this year. They are awesome. Let's see. Next up, somebody asking us if we've tried it on the Green River yet. I think no.
It has not. But I can promise you, that's been on. Like, I love the Green. I've run it in about 50 million different boats at this point, and I very much look forward to not only getting this boat on the Green for a lot of reasons, but I think this boat at like 200% on the Green is going to be. That bow is never going underwater at any of those slides. I'm excited.
Yeah, and the reason we haven't paddled on the Green is because we needed to keep this thing a secret, and everyone and their mom is on the Green, and it's really hard to keep a boat a secret on the Green. Dana, you going to use this boat in the short boat class for the Green race?
I will definitely be using this. I don't know what I will not be using this boat for. There was only one race in the world, but I was like, we're making a high rocker boat. We're not looking for it to be the fastest in flat water. Utz Trophy is the only race I was thinking maybe Nirvana still be okay. But the truth is, I'm taking this boat to Utz Trophy, which means that Norfolk Green Race and 99, I shouldn't say 99, 100% of the rest of the year, I'm going to be using this boat. So I'll be using it for all the races.
Sweet. All right, let's check this out. Someone was asking what the specs are for the three sizes. So the length, the medium is 8'10", the small is 8'6", and the large is going to be 9'2". So this is 2 inches shorter than the Nirvana. Dane, why did we make this boat a little bit shorter than the 9-foot Nirvana?
The reason why we shortened this boat up a little, one thing that's nice about being a little shorter, you save plastic, meaning that's lighter for carrying and paddling, but a little bit shorter also means less boat to have to lift, so it's easier to boot. Also allows it to be a little more maneuverable, but we made sure to keep a little bit of that length, so you still have all that speed you need for just enjoyment, but also just confidence carrying good speed over features.
Sounds great. All right, we got a question. Are the edges soft or hard? Dane, can you show us what those drop chines look like on this thing? What you're going to see.
Yeah, so we did one thing.
All you, Dane.
I'll go ahead and pull this down for a second. Pull this where you can see it. So we did keep full drop chines on this boat, similar to the Antics and the river running boats we've had. The reason why we decided not to give up on those chines, a lot of people don't often put full-on chines on a creek boat, but there's one thing that we really wanted to make sure this boat still had, despite the high rocker, high floating, everything. We didn't want it to be like, oh man, I only bust this out when I'm super scared. Like, we wanted to make sure this boat is still super fun to paddle when it comes to carving, surfing, bearing. We wanted to make sure you still get all that enjoyment, similar to what you have with the Antic when you're carving behind rocks and eddies, whatever it may be. So we decided to give this boat full drop chine, so this thing still carves phenomenal, and you will have all those same benefits, and we wanted to make sure that you're still enjoying running the whitewater on top of having all that confidence.
No, that's awesome. Dane, can you show us sort of a nice view of just that hull so people can see what that looks like?
Yeah. Well, let me just swap this camera around.
So the other thing to notice, everyone, when you're looking at the edges, are that these drop chines are actually lifted up out of the water compared to a playboat. They're like a little higher up the sidewall. And that's because we don't want them to grab on rocks and make it weird when you're sliding off a rock sideways. However, the other big advantage of having those drop chines up the whole thing is that it makes the boat lift and plane up even better on my skip outs when I'm going across cross currents. And once it's planed up with those chines, not only can I carve, but it also makes it really easy to control. So we gain a lot of performance from that. You are going to love it. Actually, Rob was just asking if we can get some closer up hull shots.
Yeah.
Rob coming to us from the Ace Gear Shop in Fayetteville.
The important thing to remember for those that, and Stephen already covered it, one thing that we did focus on with this hull is we knew that giving it harder chines means that's a slightly harder edge on the side, but what we did to counteract that and make sure you don't have any sharp edges that are going to bang rock, potentially put you on edge, we actually gave it a little bit of crown through the whole boat down the middle, so that way that will get those edges out of the water and there's nothing sharp that can get hit on rock, and this thing slides off of rock so good. So you're not noticing.
No, that sounds great. Thanks,
You
Dane.
can see we gave it.
You can also notice there's a good bit of crown in this boat. It is not dead flat through the middle. There's a little bit of roundness built into it to keep it really forgiving and easy to go edge to edge. You're going to love this thing. Next comment. Thanks, Dane. That looks great. Does the larger bow mean rolling is harder or easier? How's this boat roll, Dane?
Truthfully, that was always a discussion from the beginning because we know everybody wants a boat that's easy to roll. And at Jackson Kayak, we always try to strive for boats that are easy to roll. I was already confident that this boat was going to be easy to roll. When I tell you the first time I tried to roll, I was like, that felt really easy for some reason. I'm like, maybe it's just me. And it was actually one of the first things I told Alec to try when we got to the North Fork for his first day. We got below Esther, and I was like, dude, just try a roll. I want to see your reaction. He rolled up and he went, whoa. Like, it was the honest reaction. Like, that wasn't something like that I was ready for, but it honestly is about as easy as it gets to roll because, one, this boat is so nimble side to side, but when you're upside down, there's so much rocker, and with that shorter water line, with the way we did the rocker profile, as soon as you start rolling, this boat wants to come all the way up, and there's no sharp edges to stop you from trying to get all the way up. So this, truthfully, is the easiest to roll creek boat I've ever been in.
That's awesome. Yeah, my experience was exactly the same. This boat is so easy to roll. It is ridiculous, which is awesome. All right, I think our last question we're going to answer, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right, compare tracking to Nirvana and Antics 2, holds a line versus need correction. Dane, I'll start and you can finish. My experience with this boat is that it is so much easier to turn than the Nirvana or the Antics 2 because it's really high floating in the middle with a short water line that it takes like half the effort to correct it when it gets offline, and it doesn't want, the bow doesn't want to veer on you and take off when I hit cross currents and things. So for me, this is like the easiest to keep on line boat I've ever been in. Dane, what do you think?
Yeah, that feeling that you're getting out of the Nirvana or Antics was the benefits of that feeling were something we wouldn't want to lose, which is part of the reason why we kept the main drop chine. But when it comes to when that bow starts getting away from you when you don't want it, it often could be a little hard to bring something like the.
Uh-oh.
Sorry. Oh gosh.
Oh no, we're getting worked. Walla, walla, walla.
I'm back. Sorry, someone tried to call me. But the shorter water line, which means it really helps that you are able to keep it in control and carve when you want. But when the bow starts, like the bow won't get pulled away from you because of the short water line. So when it comes to tracking a carve or trying to like carry your speed on a nice arc like an Antic or a Nirvana, you still have all of that, but you don't have to worry about it getting away from you when you don't want it. So it's a really nice, confidence inspiring, but you're still able to get that carving when you want it.
No, that's awesome. Cool, everybody. So this is the brand new Nirvana. You are going to see this all over the place. We have it at the King of New York race this weekend, that event. If you are in the Northeast or even are thinking of going to the Northeast, we've got a bunch of demos. You can try it out. You're going to love this thing. We will have the mediums. We will have the smalls at Golly Fest, and you can try them out there and see them there. And they're going to be going out to dealers all over the place. Lots of dealers right now have 2 mediums in stock. You could go buy one of these boats today, literally at 4:48 p.m. You can put down money and walk out with one of these boats. You are going to flip out. This is the best creek boat I have ever seen, and it is super, super fun. Dane, you want to leave us with any final thoughts?
Honestly, I've paddled a lot of different boats. I've tried boats, like every boat on the market. And if this was like, there was one type of boat I was looking for, and it ended up being this boat. It was the perfect combo of everything I could want, confidence inspiring, but there's just some like incredibly unique feeling when you're paddling it, whether it's launching off of waves, carrying your speed over stuff, how dry the bow stays. It's truly unlike any other boat I've ever paddled. And this would be my choice 100%, regardless of who I was with.
That's awesome. Cool, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. You are going to see these all over the water. This boat is so fun. You are going to flip out. Give it a try. I promise you're going to like it. I'm Stephen Wright. This is Dane Jackson, and we will see you on the water.